Hi, it's David Ostriker. It's Parsha Vayishev. Parsha Vayishev really is the beginning of the Joseph story. Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef the pious, one might say. A tzaddik we usually associate with an elderly man, long white beard, not a big belt, and very kindly. Part of the secret of Yosef HaTzadik is the definition of a tzaddik. He's not Santa Claus at all. A tzaddik, well, let me put it this way. I would say that Yosef is the most feared person in the entire Sefer Torah. Virtually everybody who knows him fears him. His father, his brothers, Paro, virtually everybody. Why? And yet he's called a tzaddik. So it turns out that maybe we have the wrong definition of a tzaddik. A tzaddik is somebody who follows the will of God where it leads him. He's not somebody who's always trying to be kind. When kind is called for, he's kind. When strong is called for, he's strong. So let's look at his story. By the age of 17, it's clear that he is the most favored of his father's children, his sons. He is the first son of his father's favorite wife, Rachel. More than that, he is described as the child of his father's later years, old age. There's something special about this child and his father. And it is so obvious that his father favors Yosef, that his brothers are described as cannot speak peacefully to him, and that they hate him. Now, I'm going to go through this story quite quickly because there's so much in it, and so much is yet to be revealed. Joseph has two dreams. In the first dream, the sheaves of wheat bow down to him. The brothers are offended, and they say, "You think that you should rule over us?" And then he goes on to a second dream. And the second dream is that 11 stars, the sun and the moon, bow down to Joseph. The brothers are very upset, and his father reprimands him. And then things begin to pick up pace very quickly. And it's mysterious what's going on, and later on it may be a clue to what the whole story is about. As soon as he tells the second dream, the brothers, angry, leave town, take the flocks to graze close to Shechem. Shechem, remember, is the place where Yaakov had his conflict with and Levi and Shimon killed the men of Shechem. That's where they go. Not a very safe place. The father, Yaakov, for reasons that are a little bit unclear, he wants information about his other sons and the flocks, sends Joseph by himself to Shechem, maybe the most dangerous place in the world for a Jew to go. It wasn't that long ago before the men were slaughtered there. With no accompaniment, no bodyguards, exposed. Right after he reprimands him for this bizarre dream that he's had. Right after Yaakov reprimands Yosef for describing the dream to the family. What's happened here? It's mysterious. So Joseph goes on to Shechem. The brothers are not there, although that's where they said they were going to be. And he's told by a man, could be a malach, an angel, that they're in Dotan. And so he proceeds to Dotan. And as the brothers see him in the distance, they have decided that they are going to finally deal with this person. Now, it's an interesting history to the family. The grandfather, Abraham, had two sons. One, Yitzchak, inherits the venture, so to speak, of what will become Judaism. The other one is shunted aside, Ishmael. He's not fit. The father, that's the great-grandfather, Yitzchak has two children. Yitzchak has two children. The first child, the elder, is Esav, Uncle Esav, and the younger is Yaakov. And again, Esav is not fit, so he's shunted aside, and Yaakov inherits. Now, we should notice something in this story. In both stories, Avraham and Yitzchak do not want to part with the son. But the mothers, Rivka and Sarah, insist. One steals the bracha, one puts Hagar out into the wilderness, etc. It's as though the fathers couldn't recognize the problem, but the mothers did. Now, what we have? Now we have the 11 brothers looking at this misfit from their point of view, somebody who wants to rule over them, and they say, for the venture to succeed, we have to get rid of him. It's not simply jealousy. They feel that he is the Esav and the Ishmael of their generation, and there's no mothers to point out the error of Yaakov's ways. And so at this point, they see the dreamer coming, and they say, we'll murder him now. We'll kill him now. Reuven protests and says, don't kill him. Just put him in a cistern and let him die on his own, and then his blood won't be on our head. Interestingly, Reuven is credited with saving the life of Yosef. They threw him into a cistern, a dry cistern, said with nothing in it, except scorpions and snakes, we understand. The scorpions and snakes allowed Yosef to live. Why? Because scorpions and snakes don't have any free will. So he was safer in the cistern with the snakes and the scorpions than he was with his own brothers outside, who had free will to kill him. Okay, so we know the story. He's sold to merchants. He finds himself in Egypt. On Pharaoh's birthday, everybody goes down to the river, except Joseph, who's not particularly interested in celebrating Pharaoh's birthday, and Potiphar's wife, who's interested in celebrating something else with Joseph. Interestingly enough, the Zohar tells us that on this birthday event, that there was a golden calf or golden bull that would fly across the Nile River to celebrate Pharaoh's birthday. This is a forewarning of what will happen later on in the story. Potiphar's wife makes an effort to seduce Joseph. She fails. He gets the reputation of being tzaddik at that point because his father's face appeared to him in the mirror, and he said no. Her clothes were torn. She falsely accused him. The priests of Egypt looked at the evidence carefully and noted that Joseph's clothes had been torn from the back, and consequently he was running away rather than trying to attack. Nonetheless, he was in prison because, after all, she's an important woman. He spends time in prison. He interprets the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker. Now, what happened in that story? The cupbearer, meaning the wine person who brought in the wine, and the baker are thrown into prison with Joseph. What does it mean? In my eyes, it means that there was a coup. Somebody tried to poison Pharaoh. He might have gotten quite sick, but they didn't. They knew it was either in the hands of the person who presented the wine or the bread. Joseph interprets their dreams correctly, and in the end, the wine bearer, the cupbearer, is restored to his position, and the baker is hung. So that's the story in short. And it sets up what is going to go on for the rest of the book of Bereshit, of Genesis, the story of Joseph. And there's a great deal to learn about leadership and kingship from Joseph. He's a tremendously powerful man, and he's still in prison at the end of the story, but he's going to emerge and skyrocket to the second most powerful, perhaps the most powerful man in Egypt very shortly. It's David Ostriker. I have fewer things to say, except, of course, our lemons are there, right? Now, those lemons, by the way, are not yet yellow, but they are huge, kind of like grapefruits, I would say. And this is the bounty of the land. So it's still beautiful weather. We're here on the edge of December, and there's nothing to shovel. So, dear friends, I wish you well. Shabbat Shalom. Get ready for a roller coaster ride in this upcoming tale. Bye-bye. Shabbat Shalom. David Ostriker.